everybody, my name's Lynn Hayes. Welcome back to my channel and to another edition of What Are the Planets Doing This Week and What Can We Do About Them? So I really welcome you here, and if you're new, I hope you'll come back. If you like these videos, please hit the subscribe button and click the bell to be notified of new videos. So I'd like to start by talking about one of the outer planets that's having an impact on us this month. We're talking about Uranus. People call it Uranus. Most astrologers don't like to, for obvious reasons. Some people call it Uranus. All of these names are appropriate. Uranus is the planet that inspires radical change. It inspires us to break out of the status quo, to break out of a rut that may not fit us anymore. Uranus is an outer planet, so it's more of a transformational force. It's not really a part of our personality, but it's one of the slow-moving outer planets. And so when it's having an impact on us, it can last for a very long time. The outer planets are retrograde for about half of the year every year, so it's not unusual for a planet to turn retrograde. Now, if you've been watching these videos, you know that until the middle of October, we're going to have between 5 and 7 planets retrograde. So we had Venus retrograde and Mars retrograde. They have turned direct. We had Mercury retrograde. It has turned direct. But we still have Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto, all retrograde. And now we're going to have Uranus as well. So there's a lot of retrograde energy, and then Mars will be turning retrograde in September. When there's a lot of retrograde energy, our focus tends to always be looking backwards. Why did I do that? Why did that happen? I wish I had done it differently. It's more difficult under a heavy retrograde emphasis for us to really be able to move forward and to make things happen. And now, in the age of COVID-19, it's very difficult to do that anyway because the world is on pause. We're on pause because of the retrogrades. This is a time to turn inwards, to really be paying attention to what's going on in the inner life. And to help us do that is Uranus, which is changing direction. And right now, it is virtually stationary as it prepares to turn retrograde next week. As we look at Uranus from our viewpoint on Earth, it appears to be standing still. So if it's affecting your personal chart, it's like a laser beam of energy, motivating you, inspiring you, maybe kicking you in the butt to make some sort of a change. Uranus is in Taurus right now, and Taurus is the sign of comfort, security, stability. While it is in Taurus, it's inspiring and motivating us all on a global level to break out of paradigms that aren't serving us. Now, sometimes Uranus inspires us through excitement, anticipation of change, and sometimes it is more like a kick in the butt. Even if we do want to make a change, but we're resisting, we're stuck where we were, sometimes something will come along and just trigger a big change. That's what's been happening over the last couple of years with Uranus and Taurus. And Uranus and Taurus has a few more years to go. So this whole period is a time of really letting go of sort of the underpinnings that we thought gave us security, that we thought gave us financial stability. Our notions of what gives our life security are being disrupted. A lot of this is visible in the outer world by what's happening with COVID-19. Many of us are having our security shaken up, perhaps destroyed if we've lost our jobs. And we're really having to find new ways of giving our life security that's going to fit the new reality a little bit better. Uranus is always about creating a new reality, creating something that fits the new world, the new way that we're looking at life. So one question you might want to ask yourself is, where is my comfort zone? What am I comfortable with? And is it serving me? Or is it just keeping me stuck? Taurus doesn't like change. And so here comes Uranus, and it's just exploding all of these areas where we might feel stuck. So it's a good time right now to ask ourselves, where in our life might we need to make a change? Where might we need to create an opening so that something new can come in? So Uranus is at a station right now, and it will be turning retrograde next week, where you're probably not going to notice, oh, today Uranus turned retrograde and this happened. There may be something that happens in the world, a big reversal. There may not be. It's possible that this will all be expressed just through our inner life. It may be that we have to let go of something and embrace a change. This will actually be in effect for the whole month because Uranus is not moving very much. But this year, because it will be retrograde in early September, it's moving very slowly through the sign. Now, in late July, Mars started triggering the 3 planets that are in Capricorn. And just to recap a little bit, we have Jupiter, the planet of expansion, Saturn, the planet of contraction, and Pluto, the planet of transformation, all in the sign of Capricorn, which is all about the structures on which we build our lives. So we have Jupiter creating some resistance against restriction. We have Saturn wanting to recreate and compress and to restrict movement, which is reacting against Jupiter in Capricorn. And then we've had Pluto in Capricorn since 2008, destroying and rebuilding all of the structures globally, individual societies, our families, our communities, our churches. All of these structures have been challenged with Pluto and Capricorn. And those 3 have been moving together. And so if you want one explanation for why 2020 is so weird, that's a good one. Saturn, Pluto, Jupiter, all conjuncting Capricorn. Now we have Mars, which is going to be triggering these planets. There's already a lot of rage and a lot of arguments and a lot of debate and a lot of aggressive energies out in the world because Mars is in its own sign of Aries. Mars is the planet of assertiveness. It's a planet of desire. It's a planet of self-defense as well and boundaries. So Mars is very active right now, and I've been looking ahead to this actually for quite some time. What's going to happen when Mars in Aries triggers all these Capricorn planets? We're in the middle of finding out right now. Where is there going to be freedom? Where is there going to be repression? How is the rebellion going to take place? And what's going to be the fallout? These are the things that are really coming out for this time. So Mars has already triggered Jupiter and Saturn last week. This next week, Mars is going to be in a challenging square to Pluto. Mars-Pluto contacts are often associated with some sort of violence, or at the very least, power struggles. Pluto is like the guiding force of the universe. It says, this is what needs to happen, even though you don't want it to happen. This is what needs to happen in order for things to move forward the way they need to be. This is a little bit of a fate situation that we have going on right now. But Mars is going to be very active until it leaves Aries, which is not going to be until January. Throughout the rest of the year, we are dealing with a lot of these Mars-related type issues, which have to do with, what do I need? Am I getting what I need? Am I able to get what I want? Who is standing in my way? How can I set good boundaries so that those people don't stand in my way? How can I defend myself without being overly offensive? These are the questions that we're asking ourselves right now and for the rest of the year, but especially next week when Mars squares Pluto. So the other major shift that we have going on right now is that Venus, the planet of love and attraction and beauty, has just moved into the home-loving sign of Cancer. When Venus is in Cancer, we often want to cook for our friends in our own homes. You know, Cancer is a sign of nurturing. It has a lot to do with food. It has a lot to do with home and how we feel at home, where we feel at home. When Venus is in Cancer, we have a longing to connect with family in some way. Now, this could be our family of origin, our genetic family. This could be ancestors. This could be a time to do some genealogy work. This could be a time to become more interested in history. But Venus in Cancer is also associated with the family that we create for ourselves, our tribe, the like-minded people with whom we share our lives, with whom we share our homes, our communities. It's possible that under Venus in Cancer, people may be more sensitive, they may be more touchy, and they may be more reactive, especially later in the period where Venus in Cancer starts to bump up against all of the Capricorn planets. But that's a couple of weeks away, so we don't need to go there right now. We've already talked about how Uranus is exerting a strong influence right now. And on Monday, August 10th, when this video is posted, Mercury, the planet of the mind, is going to be in a stressful square to Uranus. This is not going to be the best time for anything that requires focus. It's a fantastic time for anything that requires brainstorming, thinking of new ideas, making new plans, because Uranus stimulates the new. Remember, it helps us to break out of old paradigms and break out of old ruts. When Mercury, the planet of the mind, is in a challenging square to Uranus, we are so flooded with new ideas and new things to do that we can't focus on any one. We'll start one project, there will be another project we want to go right to. So it's a very good day for multitasking, not such a good day for anything that requires focus. Then during the beginning of the week, and I think we'll really be feeling this throughout the week, Mars starts to form a square to Pluto. And I was just speaking about that, referring to the bigger picture of Mars. But in terms of what we have going on this week specifically, with Uranus stationary in the sky, just ready for a fight, ready to create some kind of change, it doesn't make an exact alignment until the 13th. But for the first few days of the month, it's close enough that we may feel that. So watch for any kind of power struggles, arguments. So you may find yourself feeling more irritable. You may find yourself more easily frustrated. If there's anything that you're angry about that you've been sort of hiding, it could come out with some force at that time. Now that might be a good thing, because maybe you're a person who finds it hard to ask for anything. And in that case, this could be good if you use it. Often we don't use those energies. We let them back up even more, and then we start yelling. Like, why don't you ever do this for me? I keep asking. And anyway, that's a bad Mars. That's what happens when Mars is allowed to kind of fester. So we don't really want that to happen. We want Mars, which is in Aries where it's strong, we want it to motivate us to be very clear. Would you please do this for me? I would like it done by Wednesday. That's what Mars in Aries is really good for. There could be some frustration. This is not a time to have a confrontation with your boss, for example, because Mars squaring Pluto, Pluto being the big power, Mars is the little power. There can be some definite butting of heads during this week. Now, by the 16th of August, we have a lovely harmonizing trine between the Sun and Mars. If there's some conflict earlier in the week that creates some stress, it's going to be much easier to kind of smooth it over at the end of the week. And these good vibes continue to the 17th when we have a trine from Mercury to Mars. So the Sun and Mercury are conjunct in the sky, and they are in Leo, which is seeking joy, beautiful expression of the self. And the Sun and Mercury are both harmonizing with Mars in a way that helps to sort of refine the energy and just generally to give us some positive energy that we can use. So let's talk a little bit about where the moon is going to be this week. For thousands of years, people have used the position of the moon to help them to navigate their lives, and we can do that too. When this video is posted, the moon is going to be in Taurus. In Taurus, as we've already talked about, we seek comfort and security and stability. We really don't want a lot of change. It's a wonderful time to be in nature. Taurus loves gardening and being in the earth and spending time with the nature divas. And it's a very good time also to seek comfort, to enjoy delicious food. If you don't have anybody living in your household that you can hug, perhaps you have a pet that you can snuggle with, or even a stuffed animal, which may sound silly, but that kind of comfort of the physical touch is very important when the moon is in Taurus. On Monday and Tuesday, the moon interacts in a challenging aspect with Uranus, which could feel a little bit emotionally disruptive, which will make finding some comfort in something tactile. And then later on Tuesday, the Taurus moon will harmonize in a trine to the Capricorn planets. So by the end of Tuesday, you'll have to adjust for your own time zone. You will start to feel more stabilized. So if you've had any feelings of disruption or anxiety, they'll start to settle down by the end of Tuesday. And then on the 12th at 9:46 p.m., the moon will move into Gemini. When the moon is in Gemini, everything is fascinating. We are interested in all kinds of different things. It can be very difficult to focus because you start reading one book and then it's like, oh, but wait, I could cook something. Oh, but wait, there's music over here. So it's a time when it can be difficult to focus, but it's also a time when we can probably get a lot of things done. Just don't schedule a big time block. Schedule 30-minute sections if you can do that, if you're able to, which will help you to enjoy all those different activities and still get a lot of things accomplished. And then on the 14th at 7:35 p.m. Eastern Time, the moon moves into Cancer. So Venus is already in Cancer, and then the moon is going to move into Cancer. That's going to add more emphasis to the Cancerian sensitivity, to the emotionality, to the need for connection. This week, when the moon is in Cancer, it's important to understand that the people around us are going to potentially be more reactive. It's a good time to be careful not to be confronting too directly. That could be challenging because remember Mars and Aries. Mars in Aries is challenging the Capricorn planet. It's very aggressive, abrasive, and here's our sensitive moon and Venus in Cancer, which could have some hurt feelings. So if you are the person whose feelings are hurt, just know you're particularly sensitized this week. If you are the person who is acting out Mars, going in with your blowtorch, creating flames, this is just a time when these things can happen, but we do need to be careful of each other and sensitive to what each other needs during these stressful times. Fortunately, after the moon goes into Cancer, it's going to pass by Venus, which is in a harmonizing sextile, which is a very supportive aspect to Uranus. So this can help to facilitate easy exchanges with our friends and our loved ones, and maybe bringing in some new energies, maybe change the way you expect people to react, because change is definitely possible this week. We can shift some of those old patterns. So thank you so much for being with me today. If you have comments or questions, I hope you'll leave them in the comment box, and I will see you next week.